I couldn't sleep that night. Royal's words kept replaying in my head.
The curse was my fault.
I had thought the reason he kept on apologizing to Gold was because he had broken their childhood promise that he would always protect her. But he seemed to think the curse was cast because of him. But how is that possible? They were cursed by the toy maker because of their father's wickedness. If that were the case, where did Royal come into the picture? I shut my eyes and tried to come up with answers, but no matter how hard I thought, nothing made sense. Did he, was Gold's father treating his children badly, including Gold, and Royal... I don't know. Talk to the toy maker person about it, or wish that something would happen to him and then all this happened or something? I shut my eyes and tried to come up with answers, but no matter how hard I thought, nothing made sense. Not to mention that thinking too hard was making my head hurt. Wait a minute. Am I imagining things, or is that the heavy scent of pine? I could have sworn I closed the windows earlier. I opened my eyes and gasped when I realized I wasn't in my room anymore. Instead, I was standing outside of the mansion. The orange sky was slowly bleeding to purple in the light of the setting sun. How on earth did I get here? Is this a dream?
This is the day everything started.
I jolted in surprise when a voice spoke beside me. The toy maker? Or Goldilocks? There stood a tall, beautiful woman wearing a ragged cloak. Her long blonde hair cascaded down her shoulders, and her hazel eyes gazed at me with gentleness and warmth. Her look was completed by the teddy bear charm dangling on her belt. I knew at once who she was. You're the toy maker!
Indeed.
I had so many questions to ask. As I opened my mouth, however, an angry voice interrupted me. The father, I'm assuming?
What is a peasant doing near my house?
A man that was standing by the porch spoke up. He was probably in his mid-40s, with blonde hair and strikingly handsome features. He reminded me of Sol and Dion, only with a dark aura surrounding him. That's Lord Deluxe. I still couldn't quite believe I was witnessing the events of the past. I stared at him in awe. The past version of the toy maker stood in front of him, holding 3 teddy bears, a large brown one, a yellow one, and a small white one. They were all too familiar to me.
Please. It's getting dark, and it would be dangerous for me to travel alone in the forest during the night. I don't have any money, and these are all I have.
Angered by the toy maker's offer, Lord Deluxe slapped her hands away, scattering the toys across the ground.
I have no need of such things. Leave now, or you'll suffer the consequences.
After his wife died, he drowned himself with work.
I looked at the toy maker beside me, who was watching the event somberly.
As a result, he became obsessed with power and money. He lost sight of the good man he once was.
The toy maker's not their mom, right? Because she's got golden hair, too. It's throwing me off. I looked at the scene again, and I gasped when I saw a younger version of Royal run outside the house and pick up the teddy bears. He looked nothing like the Royal I knew, so innocent and vulnerable.
Leave those alone, you brat!
The young Royal stepped back, the teddy bears clutched to his chest. I could clearly see him shaking with fear.
But...
Did you not hear me, child?
Your selfishness and wickedness has gone too far, and for that you shall suffer the consequences. Enjoy what you still have today, for it will be all gone tomorrow.
The Lord shot her a deadly glare. 3 children, all of whom shared the same blonde hair, peeked behind him. I immediately recognized who they were.
Father, what is going on here?
Brother, I think we should go back inside.
Young Soul clearly looked scared while he tugged at his brother's shirt.
Teddy bears!
The youngest daughter happily pointed at the teddy bears Royal was holding.
Dion, take your siblings back to their rooms now.
His voice was cold and firm.
Yes, Father.
Young Dion quickly took their hands and ushered them inside.
Wait!
Young Gold broke free from Dion's grasp and ran to the toy maker. She gave her a sweet smile before handing her a beautiful red rose.
And you still took her heart? Why? Why?
For you.
Let's go now, Gold.
This time, Dion pulled his sister with him, and the siblings disappeared inside. The Lord let out an exasperated sigh before turning his attention back to Royal.
Take her out of my sight, boy.
But, my lord...
Now!
Without another word, Royal took the toy maker's hand and pulled her away from the mansion. She didn't protest, instead letting him lead her silently. The scene blurred, and then we were standing at the entrance of the forest. Royal handed the bears back to the toy maker.
I'm really sorry, ma'am, but you must leave now before my lord gets angry with me.
The toy maker from the past gazed back at the mansion with a sad face.
Tomorrow, the Deluxe family will be no more.
The surroundings turned black, leaving me and the toy maker alone. I slumped onto the ground as realization dawned on me. The reason why Royal blames himself was because he was the one who was ordered to send you away. I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, man. You knew that the father was no good. You were just listening to him. I don't think you should take that as a sign that it's all your fault.
And that is why the curse isn't completely broken.
A warm sensation burned in my chest. I quickly pulled out my locket to find that it was impossibly warm under my skin. I gasped as the color darkened, only noticing now that it was covered with more rust than before.
That locket belonged to Gold Deluxe, and that is where I've hidden her heart.
Has nobody noticed that I've been wearing this locket and been like, yo, that was my sister's locket? Oh, that's why I have it. Okay. We're getting some lore. Good. Some backstory. I like it.
She gave it to your mother as a parting gift. I didn't curse your mother like the others. Instead, I sent her home, erasing her memory of the Deluxe as she departed.
Why was my mom the exception?
I wanted to give the Lord of the Deluxe time to think about his mistakes and learn from them. Unfortunately, he didn't. Remember the barrier?
Anger surged inside of me. That was the reason why they were trapped here. The reason why most of the household died. Why did you have to do that? Did you know how many lives were taken because of that? The toy maker frowned.
The barrier I casted was only to prevent the Lord Deluxe himself to leave the mansion. But because of his anger and selfishness, he wanted to keep everyone in the mansion with him. And so the harmless barrier I casted turned into a deadly one.
Well, that don't make no kind of sense. You're the caster. It's your spell. You're giving me asthma from my sickness still, woman. Fix your mistakes. Own up to them. I opened my mouth to say something, but no words came out. How much more lives will be ruined because of the Lord Deluxe sins? Now I felt more determined to help end this curse in order to free everyone from their pains. Tell me, how do we break the curse?
The curse was supposed to break once the locket came near Gold's room, but it seems something has once again interrupted the curse.
What do you mean?
Gold is pure metal. It will definitely tarnish over time, but it should not have rusted. A heart in distress has wished for the curse to remain as it is. This is what is meddling with my magic.
I knew who was troubled, but still, Royal wanted to see gold again. So why would he make such a wish?
That person needs a change of heart in order to break the curse.
What can I do to help him? I honestly didn't know what I could do. Royal had lowered his defenses with me only once, and I doubt that it would happen again. The toy maker looked at me and gave a wry smile. Her image was slowly evaporating into the darkness.
To break the curse, forgiveness must be obtained. That is the only answer I can give.
Well, you were no help at all, basically. Blah. What kind of weak-ass magic you got, woman? So easily influenced by an angry man who was devastated over his wife dying? What is happening in this household? Are we gonna find him crystallized in a pod like we did our mother in Cinderella Phenomenon? Is that what we're gonna find? After my encounter with the toy maker, it felt like I had reached a dead end. How can Royal obtain Gold's forgiveness when Gold herself remains a lifeless doll? I roamed around the halls as I tried to think of a way to solve the dilemma. What am I supposed to do now? I couldn't just hide behind Gold and pretend to forgive Royal for her, could I? This way. I was startled as I heard a familiar voice echoing from the library. Gold? I dashed into the library. Did you write something in a diary or a journal or something before you turned into a doll? There, I found a faint image of the little girl with golden locks standing beside a certain bookshelf. She pointed at it before she completely disappeared. Gold must have hidden something here. Maybe it could help me break the curse. With so many books neatly placed on the shelf, I was pretty sure it would take me a while, especially when I had no idea what to look for in the first place. You should have at least given me a clue or something. Well, she directed you to one of the 3 bookshelves. I looked at the shelves, determined to find whatever it was that she needed me to find. Now, where should I look first? Oh, I know where it is. It's gonna be on the top because Royal could never reach it before. So that means we have to look at the middle part. This will be like the best ending. I started looking for what Gold wanted me to find, but there was nothing special in any of these books at all. What am I even supposed to be looking for anyway? I sighed until I slumped. Oh.
What are you doing?
I had been so focused on my task that I didn't notice Royal come into the room. He was staring hard at the pile of books on the floor, obviously irritated.
And I had just cleaned the library today.
Sorry, I was looking for something. Royal walked towards me, crossing his arms.
Was it so important that you had to mess up this shelf?
I remembered Gold pointing at this shelf. Yes, I'll clean it when I'm done, so don't worry about it, Mr. Grumpy Bit. Something hard struck my head. Well, at least he doesn't bite us anymore. Ow! That hurt! I cried out as I massaged my aching head. I stared at the book that had fallen out. How to Grow Roses Successfully? Oh, was Gold just like, fine, you dum-dum, here's the book! I took the book in my hands, noticing a small gap between the pages. I opened the book, and there I found a pressed rose with a note that had the word smile on it. Could this be the one that Gold wanted me to find? Royal's eyes widened as he looked at the book and the items I found. He gingerly took the flower and letter from me, a faint smile dancing on his lips. Oh no! This is too precious. Don't play with my heart like this game.
This. I gave this to Gold back when she had been so upset because all the roses she was taking care of had wilted. I told her that it wasn't her fault, and that it was because the weather had been bad that season, so she shouldn't blame herself for what had happened.
I finally understood why Gold wanted me to find it. Isn't that the same for you? Royal looked puzzled at first, but his face slowly darkened in understanding. I told him about my encounter with the toy maker and witnessing the events of the past with her. I wasn't sure if he would even believe everything I told him, but as I finished, his face twisted in surprise. I mean, how else do we explain that we saw everything that transpired that day?
If only I had the courage to help that woman, we wouldn't have been in this situation. Everyone would have still be here, and Gold wouldn't have to suffer.
It was Gold who wanted me to find this. I think she wants to give this to you, for the same reason you gave this to her. No matter how much you wanted to change what the past, the outcome would still be the same. Because the problem lied with Lord Deluxe, not you. So please, stop blaming yourself. Royal squeezed the note in his hand, his body trembling. A single tear rolled down his cheek. No, this boy. He's too precious and too sweet. I was gonna say too preet, and that was just a combination of precious and sweet. Oh boy. My heart swelled, knowing that Royal had finally gotten Gold's message for him. I absentmindedly played with my locket, hearing a soft crack as I did so. Oh no. My heart. This is... Without thinking, I jumped up and ran towards Gold's room, ignoring Royal's protests. Locket, don't break till I get there. Can we put it on her? Gold sat in her usual place, her lovely blue eyes staring at me expectantly. She still looked so beautiful and surreal. I swallowed hard, and with trembling hands I placed the locket around her neck. A golden light embraced her, and quickly surged out towards the rest of the room. Whoa, are we really doing this? I blinked a few times as the light blinded my eyes, and as my vision cleared, I saw a beautiful young lady standing in front of me. Are you... Ah, she's back! Oh, you're so cute! Okay, you and Royal can get married now. I'm just gonna disappear forever. Bye! Thank you very much, Miss Aura, for giving me my heart back. Oh, this is too precious.
Aura, what do you think you're...
Royal stopped when he saw her. His face was a mixture of surprise and joy upon finally seeing that Gold was human again. More loud footsteps followed Royal's, and soon everyone had piled into the room. How did you guys all see that light? Give these two a moment.
What was that light just now?
Gold smiled sweetly at everyone, tears streaming down her cheeks. Everyone, I'm back. Gold rushed to her family, and all of them wrapped her in a tight embrace. My heart burst with happiness as I watched the family reunite. Their curse was finally lifted. Oh boy, oh boy. But that's not the end of the story. A few days had passed since Gold became human again. The house had been bustling with activity since then. They'd been trying to catch up after all those years of not being able to speak with her. There had apparently been a conflict between Sol and Dion that I wasn't aware of, but now that Gold was here, they were able to settle it for her sake. Something to look forward to, question mark? Things were finally back to normal for them, and it wouldn't be long before everyone found out that the Deluxe curse had been lifted. I smiled in contentment as I watched them interact with each other, laughing and crying over afternoon tea. I was so glad that their nightmare was over, and that they could go on with their lives at last. A sudden sadness swept over me. Yeah, I guess I can go and achieve my future of being the greatest chef in the world. Shokugeki no Aura. That meant I had to go on with my life as well. I didn't have a reason to stay here anymore. As I finished placing a few more desserts on the table, I caught sight of Royal, smiling at Gold. My chest felt heavy as I recalled how hard I attempted to get him to laugh, yet Gold's mere presence was enough to make him smile so genuinely. It was something only she could do. I bit my lip. It was as though I was so far away from them now that Gold has come back. Then again, I was the outsider here in the first place. I reached for my chest, willing the aching feeling of jealousy to go away. Royal's eyes met mine. I gave him the best smile I could muster before turning to leave the room, empty platter in tow. I was walking down the hallway when I heard Royal call for me.
Aura.
I stopped and took a deep breath before facing him. What is it? Did I do something wrong again? I tried to sound like I was joking. It would have worked if only my voice hadn't cracked.
Is something bothering you?
It was weird hearing him ask me that. He had never been so concerned about my feelings before. Sorry, I was just thinking that I'll probably leave soon, now that everything is back to normal. You're probably relieved to hear that I won't be here to bother you anymore. But just the thought of leaving the place I had called home for the last few months hurt.
Idiot. Do you really think that I want you to leave?
Royal walked closer towards me and bent forward, closing the distance between us. I instinctively backed away. This would usually be one of the times he would hit me, but instead I felt his soft lips touch my forehead. Oh, stop. That's too precious. My heart started hammering against my chest. What was that for? Royal gazed at me, his cheeks slightly red. His lips curved into a small smile. A smile that I had thought was only reserved for Gold. My heart skipped a beat.
Aura,
Royal, where did you go? That voice. My heart sank. You have to go. Gold is looking for you. Royal opened his mouth as if he was about to say something, but I quickly cut him off. Go. I forced a smile and then I left. Don't end it there. Please don't end it there. I need closure. Please don't end it there. I can't handle it. There's too many emotions swirling in my chest. Or maybe it's the remainder of the mucus. I don't know. My mind was set. I was going to go and fulfill my dream of becoming a chef. It hurt to leave everyone, but I didn't have a place here anymore. Everyone had asked me to stay, even Royal, but I've already made my decision. I had just finished cleaning the room that I had stayed in for months. I hadn't brought anything with me. My bag had been left behind somewhere in the forest, so packing wasn't a problem at all. Although Miss Maria did allow me to take some of her clothes. Wow, thanks, Miss Maria. That's so kind. I looked around my room one last time. I'm really going to miss this place. There was a soft knock, and Gold popped her head into the room. Miss Aura? May I? Sure, and please, just Aura is fine. Gold stepped inside, fiddling her fingers nervously. Are you really going to leave us? Everyone has done so much for me. I'm truly thankful for that, but I can't stay here anymore, Gold. But it's the other way around. If it wasn't for you, the curse wouldn't have been broken. I owe you my life, Aura. I waved my hands in front of me, embarrassed by her words. You don't owe me anything at all. An awkward silence fell over us. How about Royal? You can't just leave him, can you? My chest tightened. Royal and I have never been on good terms with each other. But then, I remembered what Royal had said before about wanting me to stay. Gold walked towards me and took my hand in hers, her eyes shining with determination. The heart does not lie, Aura. I know how you feel about him. My heart has spent quite some time near yours due to the curse, after all. I opened my mouth to protest, but the loud thumping in my chest insisted she was right and that I couldn't deny it anymore. I was in love with Royal, but his heart belonged to her. I don't want Royal to be sad again. Not after he finally found someone he really cares about. Huh? That's impossible. It's obvious that you're the one he loves. Gold gave me a look, as though I had just said the most absurd thing in the world. You've got it wrong, Aura. Royal did tell me once that he wanted to marry me when we were young, but that's in the past now. And what feelings he has for me isn't love, but guilt. Besides, I've seen how he looks at you. It's the same way Lily looks at Big Brother's soul. I couldn't help but feel embarrassed, yet a part of me didn't want to believe her. Royal was so dedicated to Gold that I doubted his feelings would change just like that. I jumped when I noticed that Royal was standing by my door. Ah! Abort! Gotta dive out the window, bye-bye! Speak of the devil. Do you need to talk to Gold? Royal looked at me seriously.
I need to talk to you, Aura.
Gold gave me a triumphant smile, as if telling me that she was right, before scampering out of my room to leave us alone. Gold, you're too pure for this world. However, once in the hallway, she paused and smiled at Royal. Royal? You now have a new princess to protect.
I do.
Ah! Ah! Royal answered her without hesitation as he walked towards me. Ah! Eee! He went for it! The boy went for it! Aye! I'm unreasonably happy. I gasped when I felt his warm, soft lips on mine. All too soon, he had pulled away, cheeks flushed. I was sure that my face must have matched his in color.
I told myself a long time ago that I would no longer let myself get close to anyone. I closed my heart because I was afraid of losing someone important to me again. The more I cared about others, the more I'd be hurt when I lost them. But when it came to you, it was just so difficult to keep my vow. You constantly got on my nerves, and you didn't know when to give up. Then I found myself drawn to you.
Royal.
Is it okay for me to be selfish? Just this once. Sometimes I just want to keep you to myself and never let you go.
Deep down, I already knew the answer. Idiot. You don't have to ask, because I might end up being even more selfish. Ah, my goodness! In the end, I decided to stay in the deluxe mansion with Royal. At this moment, the most important thing for me was to always stay by his side. After cooking tonight's meal and cleaning up, I decided to stay in the garden to admire the view of the countless stars that were dancing in the sky. Mother, I'm sorry for not becoming best chef in the world, but I'll make sure to be the best chef for the Deluxe family. A pair of strong arms suddenly wrapped around me from behind. I was ensnared in Royal's tight embrace. Royal? Is something wrong? Royal snuggled closer. His breath tickled my neck.
Nothing. I just wanted to hold you. What?
I still can't get used to you being so sweet.
Why? Would you prefer me to be grumpy?
I smiled and placed my hand over his. Truthfully, I don't care which side of you that you show to me. Because in the end, you're still the same Royal that I love. I thought over how I had ended up here. It was because I had been chasing a dream. I used to be so focused on becoming the best chef, and I wasted time whining about my obstacles when I first arrived. But eventually, I completely forgot about it. Maybe it was because I had been alone for so long that it felt good to be a part of a family again, even if it was only going to be just for a short while. But then I realized that I had been chasing after a false dream all this time. Because what I really wanted was simply to find a place where I could belong. And I have finally found it. Oh good, man, that was the normal end? I was convinced I had somehow got the best ending. That was the normal end? That was so sugary sweet. I enjoyed it immensely. Thank you for this game. It's so cute. Ah, we got the normal end. Oh my goodness. That was so precious. Everyone in this game is too precious. I can't contain it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I enjoyed it immensely. Loved it to death. I can't wait to see what the best ending is, so I hope you guys will join me for that. Because I'm super, super excited to see how much more sugary sweet can this ending get. I need to know. Alright, we'll find out next time. Thank you guys for watching. Until then, I will see you later.